To most people, cannibalism is one of the most terrifying concepts imaginable, but for some tribe members of Papua Island, human flesh is a dish central to their culture, and it has been for thousands of years.
And the problem is they'd be going up this river, and there'd be arrows flying by them.
No one expected the cameras to find them. Hidden far from everything we know, beyond jungles no one has mapped and waters no one has crossed.
Up in the corner, there were these little people, and they were still holding onto their bows and arrows. And you look at them, and as soon as you look at them, they hide.
Lived a tribe that should not exist. Their bodies worked in ways scientists said were impossible. Their survival broke every rule of biology. And when experts finally reached them and saw what these people could do with their own eyes, the footage didn't just raise questions. It left the entire scientific team shaken, silent, and terrified. The Moken, the sea people with dolphin eyes.
They're waiting for fishermen to steer them to sea. They're owned by Moken, a nomadic people who've earned their living from the sea for hundreds of years.
The first time outsiders saw a Moken child stay underwater for nearly 4 minutes without panic, equipment, or training, they thought it was a stunt. It was not. It was daily life. The Moken do not treat the sea as a place to visit. They live in it. They sleep on boats. They raise children on boats. They sometimes go weeks without touching solid ground.
Our life springs from the boat. For example, I was actually born on a kabang, and so was grandmother.
Scientists were stunned when they realized that Moken eyesight behaves in a way that should be impossible for humans. Moken children can force their pupils to tighten far more than ordinary eyes can. They reshape their lenses and see underwater with clarity that shocked researchers. They find clams buried in sand that most people would not see even with a mask. They track fish by the flicker of their fins. They spot dangers under the surface faster than trained divers.
Possibly we go like 5 meters. For him, so the go is 12 or 15 meters.
Researcher Anna Gislin proved that this ability is not genetic. It is learned through constant exposure. The Moken train their vision from childhood until their eyes function like the eyes of marine mammals. Their survival instincts are equally shocking. Moken elders still talk about the day they watched the ocean behave strangely before the 2004 tsunami. They noticed the sudden retreat of the shoreline, the unusual stillness in the wind, and the tight, swirling currents forming where the water should have been calm.
And it lasted for 8 minutes, just the earthquake, just the ripping of rock.
To most people, it looked like nothing. But to the Moken, it was the ocean warning them. They ordered their families to move to deeper waters. Nearly every Moken who followed survived. Yet despite their remarkable abilities, the Moken live with almost no legal identity. Thailand and Myanmar do not recognize them as citizens. They can be turned away from hospitals. Their children are sometimes barred from schools.
Our traditions are becoming extinct. Our elders are beginning to fade, and the younger generation are unable to pass on our traditions.
Patrol boats have seized their fishing grounds. Some Moken villages were destroyed to make way for tourist resorts. They are stateless and treated as if they do not belong anywhere.
This has been a tradition for generations, but many Mokens feel that these traditions are dying out.
The Masai warriors who defy gravity. Across the open plains of Kenya and northern Tanzania, the Masai stand out the moment you see them. Their tall frames, bright red shuka cloth, and steady posture make them look like they were carved from the land itself. They are herders, warriors, and guardians of their traditions. People around the world know them for one thing above all: their ability to jump in a way that looks almost impossible. The adumu, or jumping dance, is more than a performance. It is a physical test that separates ordinary men from warriors. During ceremonies, the warriors form a circle and begin a deep rhythmic chant. One steps into the center and jumps straight up, legs locked, body rigid, eyes forward. He rises higher than seems humanly possible, as if lifted, not pushed. Tourists sometimes describe it as watching someone hang in the air for a moment longer than gravity should allow. Some warriors can jump more than 3 feet straight up without bending their knees. When scientists measured their movements, they found that the Masai store energy in their tendons so efficiently that their bodies act like natural shock absorbers and springs. Their land-based training, Running long distances barefoot, herding cattle for hours, and carrying heavy loads builds explosive strength without gyms or equipment. There are other things about the Masai that outsiders find shocking.
The way they section up meat is really interesting among the Masai tribe, and many other tribes are like this too.
Many warriors can run for miles without water. Some can track animals for days using only footprints and broken grass. Their diet surprises researchers too.
The Masai are really interesting. So I've heard you talk about the Masai before. The Masai are really famous for eating milk, blood, and meat.
They drink fresh cow blood mixed with milk, a tradition passed down for generations.
The wound is almost immediately staunched. They drink it and pass the gourd around.
Despite this high-fat, high-iron diet, they have remarkably low rates of heart disease. Their bodies adapt to it the way the Moken adapt to the sea. The Maasai's identity is built on discipline and honor. For generations, a young warrior proved his courage by facing lions. Killing a lion was once a rite of passage. Today, they have turned that courage into conservation.
The same style we used to kill the lions, now we use that knowledge to protect the lions.
Instead of hunting lions, they now protect them. They created the Masai Olympics, where warriors compete in spear throwing, high jumping, and sprinting. It preserves their strength without destroying the wildlife around them. The Pygmies, the forest's hidden titans. Deep in the rainforests of Central Africa live the Pygmy groups. They watch the ocean behave strangely, but in the jungle they function like the strongest people on Earth. Their daily lives involve physical feats that most humans could not handle. Pygmy hunters can run down animals for hours until the prey collapses from exhaustion. They move through thick brush at high speed without slowing down or tripping. They climb extremely tall trees with no ropes, often while carrying heavy meat or baskets. And they do it as easily as most people walk upstairs.
The Baraka are the only people in the world to master these perilous and exhausting acrobatics.
Scientists who tested them found endurance levels similar to trained marathon runners, even though the Pygmies never practice exercise the way modern people do. Their senses are just as surprising. They can smell smoke or track signs that most people would never notice. In military studies, Pygmy trackers outperform trained soldiers in dense forest conditions. They also have medical knowledge built through generations. They know plants that stop bleeding fast. They know tree saps that treat infections. They use natural antidotes for bites and sicknesses that modern clinics often struggle with. Life in the forest has never been easy. Pygmy groups have faced abuse, displacement, and violence from larger neighboring tribes for many years. Some were enslaved, others were forced out of their land. Even today, many lack legal rights or recognition. Still, they survive with skills, strength, and endurance that show what humans can do when they grow up in one of the hardest environments on Earth. The Hadza, the fearless bee whisperers. On the sun-baked plains near Lake Eyasi in northern Tanzania lives a tribe that seems untouched by time. They are the Hadza, one of the last true hunter-gatherer societies in the world. Numbering only about 1,300, they live as their ancestors did thousands of years ago. They have no farms, no livestock, and no permanent homes. Every sunrise brings a new hunt, a new gathering, and a new story. The men leave at dawn armed with bows and poison-tipped arrows. They move silently across the land, reading the ground like a map and listening for the faintest sounds. The women dig for roots and pick wild berries, laughing and singing as they work. By evening, the tribe gathers around the fire to share food and stories. Life is uncertain, but it is free. One of their most astonishing traits is their bond with bees. The Hadza love honey more than anything else, and they will face swarms to get it. They climb tall baobab trees with calm precision, brushing away stings as if they barely feel them. Over generations, their skin has toughened, and their pain tolerance has grown beyond what most people could endure. Even more remarkable is their partnership with a bird called the honey guide.
The Hadza honey hunter will follow the bird, who guides him, literally guides him to a tree that contains honey.
The Hadza whistle and call. The bird responds and leads them to hidden hives. The Maori warriors of earth and spirit. The Maori are known for abilities that shock researchers. Many Maori fighters historically showed extreme pain tolerance, high endurance, and unusual physical coordination trained from childhood. Warrior training involved full-contact combat, weapon drills, and fast reaction exercises that built strength without modern equipment. Some oral accounts describe fighters who could break spears with their legs or continue fighting after serious injuries. The haka is one of their most recognized skills. It is not just a dance. It is a high-intensity physical display that pushes the body to its limits. The performers stomp, slap, shout, and control their breathing with precision. Sports scientists who analyzed the haka found heart rates spiking to levels similar to elite athletes during peak exertion. The force from the stomps can shake the ground, and the synchronized movements demand exact timing. Tattooing, or moko, also shows their toughness. Traditional moko was carved into the skin with chisels, not needles. It caused extreme pain, yet men and women endured it without showing weakness. The tattoos recorded identity, rank, and family history. The Maori people have faced colonization, disease, and loss of land.
In a way whereby Maori would understand and whereby Maori would agree to the terms as set out in the Maori document.
Yet they never surrendered their spirit. They fought to preserve their language and stories.
When he arrived here, he thought he was walking through the gates of hell.
The skeleton tribe ghosts of Maima. High in the misty mountains of Papua, New Guinea's Simbu province, lives a people who look like they have stepped out of the afterlife. They are known as the skeleton tribe.
This is the skeleton tribe here in Papua.
Their bodies are covered in white ash and clay.
Where tribespeople are painted with white clay and black ash, Roberto was moved to capture them in a way he had never done before.
When they move silently through the fog, they look like spirits walking among the living. Their haunting tradition began generations ago. The story tells of a group of hunters who fled from invading warriors. Desperate to hide, they smeared their skin with mud and ash. When their enemies came searching, the hunters stepped from the mist looking pale and hollow-eyed. The sight was so terrifying that the pursuers fled, convinced they had seen ghosts. The hunters survived, and a legend was born. From that day, the skeleton tribe made the image of death their shield. Their body paint became sacred. Each line of bone is drawn with care and meaning, honoring those who came before. During ceremonies, the tribe performs dances that mimic the movements of spirits rising from graves. Their chants echo through the forest like the call of the dead. Anthropologists who have visited the skeleton tribe describe their rituals as a rare blend of art and psychology. By becoming the image of death, they learn to confront their deepest fears. To them, death is not an end. It is a cycle. Life and death exist together, and only those who face mortality without fear can truly live. When the skeleton tribe steps into the fog, covered in clay and ash, they embody survival through transformation. Their ghostly appearance is not a mask of terror, but a declaration of wisdom. It says that fear can be conquered, even turned into strength, if one dares to face it head-on. The Korowai Architects of the Sky. The Korowai are known as the architects of the sky. Their homes are not on the forest floor but perched high in the treetops, sometimes more than 100 feet above the ground. To reach them, one must climb ladders made from vines that sway with every step. The climb is dangerous, yet for the Korowai it is a way of life. Their homes, built entirely by hand, are feats of engineering made without nails or metal. Every beam is tied with vines. Every plank is chosen for balance and strength. Their choice to live high in the trees is both practical and symbolic. On the ground, danger lurks. Floods, snakes, and insects make survival difficult. By living above, the Korowai find safety, breeze, and freedom. Scientists who studied them discovered that their treetop homes are perfectly adapted to their environment. They are cool, dry, and protected from most threats. For decades, the Korowai were the subject of mystery and myth. Outsiders once claimed they practiced cannibalism, but later research showed that most of these stories were exaggerated. What is true is their isolation. They lived for centuries without contact from the modern world, preserving their language and customs in purity. The Asaro mudmen, the tribe who became ghosts. The Asaro mudmen are one of the most visually shocking groups in Papua New Guinea. Their masks look like something from a nightmare. They wear thick clay helmets with long teeth, bulging eyes, and distorted faces. The masks are heavy, sometimes weighing more than 20 pounds.
Okay, yes, they are definitely very heavy. We are trying so hard to let go of the mask, but it is really heavy on our heads.
Yet the men move in complete silence. Their skin is coated in cold gray mud that dries like cracked stone. Their origin story is brutal. The Asaro were ambushed near the river and had no way to fight back. They hid in mud pits overnight. When they climbed out at dawn, their attackers saw silent figures covered in pale clay and believed they were seeing the dead. The enemies ran without a fight. The Asaro learned that fear worked better than weapons. They kept the tactic. They trained themselves to move slowly, without visible breathing, without blinking, and without speaking. In the dim morning light, they look inhuman. Some villagers from neighboring groups still avoid the valley at night to this day because they fear running into them. The masks are not spiritual relics. They are tools. They are built from river clay and baked in the sun. Each mask is designed to intimidate. Some have long hooks, others have fang-like shapes meant to mimic predators. No two are the same. Anthropologists who visiting the region were stunned by how effective this psychological warfare was. The Asaro turned illusion into a survival strategy that protected them for generations. Today they still perform the ritual, passing the tactic to their children so the story is never forgotten. The Dogon, the cliff dwellers of the stars. High above the plains of Mali, the Dogon people built their world into the towering Bandiagara cliffs. Their homes cling to the rock face as if suspended between heaven and earth. Every house, temple, and granary is carved and placed with purpose. Their villages follow patterns that mirror the constellations above them.
When he finds them, he becomes fascinated by their culture and traditions.
The harmony between their architecture and the stars has fascinated explorers, scientists, and spiritual seekers for generations. What astonishes the world even more than their craftsmanship is their knowledge of the cosmos.
The Dogon priest said that the Nomo were coming from the star system of Sirius.
Long before telescopes existed, the Dogon spoke about Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky. They said that Sirius had a hidden companion star that was invisible to the human eye, but orbited it closely. They called it Potolo. Modern science would not confirm the existence of this white dwarf, now known as Sirius B, until the 20th century. Yet the Dogon described its orbit, density, and position with remarkable accuracy centuries earlier. Scientists still struggle to understand how an isolated people in the African interior could have known this. Some believe the Dogon gained their knowledge through ancient contact with travelers from distant civilizations. Others think it came through generations of observation and oral tradition. Whatever the truth, their cosmic understanding continues to challenge modern assumptions about ancient intelligence. Long before telescopes existed, the Dogon spoke about Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky.
We Dogon people, we think our history is related and linked with the Sirius star.
They said that Sirius had a hidden companion star that was invisible to the human eye, but orbited it closely. They called it Potolo. Modern science would not confirm the existence of this white dwarf, now known as Sirius B, until the 20th century.
And a Sirius B. And Sirius B, for us, is invisible because it's just too small.
Yet the Dogon described its orbit, density, and position with remarkable accuracy centuries earlier. Scientists still struggle to understand how an isolated people in the African interior could have known this. Some believe the Dogon gained their knowledge through ancient contact with travelers from distant civilizations. Others think it came through generations of observation and oral tradition. Whatever the truth, their cosmic understanding continues to challenge modern assumptions about ancient intelligence. The Huaorani guardians of the green abyss. The Huaorani people live in a world of dense rainforest and endless green deep inside the Ecuadorian Amazon. Their senses are so sharp that they can detect the scent of unseen animals and follow tracks that are several days old. Barefoot and alert, they hunt with blowguns whose darts strike targets with perfect accuracy. When scientists first reached them, they were astonished by the Huaorani's deep knowledge of plants and animals. Without written records or laboratories, they identified hundreds of species and understood their uses for medicine, poison, and ritual. They know which leaves heal wounds, which roots cure fevers, and which vines can take life. Their immune systems are strong, their bodies lean and agile, and their minds alert. All of this is sustained by an ancient belief that everything needed for survival already exists within the forest. But this paradise is fragile. Contact with the outside world has brought devastation. Oil exploration and deforestation have cut deep scars into Huaorani lands.
In 32 years, over 70 million liters of crude oil have been spilled. Over 100,000 liters of toxic waste.
Diseases carried by outsiders have wiped out entire families. Some groups, such as the Aghori and Taromanan, have chosen to remain completely isolated. They defend their territory fiercely, not from hatred, but from understanding. They know that contact brings death. The Chukchi warriors of the frozen world. The Chukchi survive in conditions that most people would die in within hours. They live in the far northeastern edge of Siberia, in a region where winter temperatures can drop to levels that freeze metal. Yet the Chukchi work, travel, and hunt in it every day. Some families still sleep in skin tents at temperatures far below zero. Their bodies burn energy so fast that scientists found they can stay warm in cold that shuts down normal human metabolism. They live on raw meat and fat, and their bodies turn it into fuel with unusual efficiency. Their endurance is extreme. Chukchi herders can run alongside their reindeer for miles at a time through deep snow. Some hunters travel for days without stopping, crossing frozen seas that split open beneath them. Eyewitness accounts from early Russian explorers described Chukchi men running barefoot across ice while carrying heavy gear because it was faster than using a sled. They were also one of the few indigenous groups the Russian Empire failed to conquer by force. Chukchi fighters ambushed soldiers using the tundra like a weapon. They moved silently over snow, struck fast, and vanished into storms that only they could navigate. Their survival depends on reading the land with absolute precision. They can track a reindeer herd across whiteout conditions, sense incoming storms by the way the wind shifts, and locate breathing holes of seals under frozen ocean ice. Today, many Chukchi still follow the old migrations. Despite modern pressures, they continue living in one of the harshest environments on Earth because their abilities make it possible in a way that almost no other human group could match. The Sentinelese, the island untouched by time. In the Andaman Sea lies an island shrouded in mystery. North Sentinel Island is surrounded by coral reefs and dense forest, and it is forbidden to approach. For thousands of years, its inhabitants, the Sentinelese, have lived there in complete isolation.
The Sentinelese. That's what everyone who's not from the North Sentinel Island calls the tribespeople living there.
Whenever outsiders come near, the islanders respond with arrows and spears. Helicopters and boats have been driven away. To them, the outside world is danger. The Sentinelese have no contact with modern civilization. They have never used electricity, steel, or writing, yet they have survived every storm and every threat that nature could bring. Scientists believe they are direct descendants of the first humans who left Africa more than 60,000 years ago. Their language, culture, and way of life remain unknown. Every attempt to reach them has failed. Friendly gestures, gifts, and food have been met with hostility. In 2018, a missionary tried to make contact and was killed moments after stepping onto the shore. Many call them violent, but anthropologists see their actions as self-preservation. Diseases that are harmless to outsiders could destroy them within days. The Sentinelese live exactly as their ancestors did, untouched by modern life. They are the last truly isolated people on Earth. The Aghori, the Saints of Shadows. The Aghori live along the cremation ghats of Varanasi in northern India, and their practices are some of the most extreme in the world. They meditate beside burning bodies. They smear their skin with ash collected directly from human remains. Some Aghori drink alcohol from human skulls, use bones as ritual tools, and sit for hours in the heat rising from funeral pyres. Tourists who accidentally wander into their areas often freeze in shock because the Aghori do not hide any part of what they do. They reject the idea that anything is dirty or forbidden. They believe that touching and living with what society fears, death, decay, corpses, blood, breaks the illusion that humans are fragile. They eat food handed to them from the same hands that handle the dead. Some are known to spend nights inside cremation grounds without moving, surrounded by half-burned bodies, claiming that this removes all fear from the mind. Researchers who met them found something disturbing yet undeniable. Aghori who have lived this way for decades show almost no startle response. no fear of darkness, no reaction to death, and an unusually calm psychological profile. Their lives revolve around confronting everything that others avoid, and they say that this is the only way to understand life without fear. The Zulu keepers of fire and blood. The Zulu are known worldwide for their history, but many people have no idea how intense their warrior culture once was. In the hills and grasslands of South Africa, Zulu men trained from youth to withstand pain, fear, and exhaustion. Young warriors toughened their bodies by running barefoot over thorns and hot ground. Some were required to kill a dangerous animal alone before being considered worthy of carrying a spear. Before battle, warriors performed blood-stirring war dances, striking their shields and chanting until their bodies shook with adrenaline. Under King Shaka Zulu, their combat methods became even more extreme. He forced his regiments to march over 40 miles a day without sandals to harden their feet. He replaced long throwing spears with the short stabbing spear, the iklwa, which had to be used up close. Warriors were expected to fight at arm's length, thrusting into the enemy's body while absorbing counterstrikes at point-blank range. Those who retreated without orders were executed on the spot. Training deaths were common, and Shaka viewed them as proof of discipline. Zulu rituals carried the same intensity. Before major battles, warriors drank mixtures prepared by traditional healers or sangomas to heighten courage and dull fear. Some ceremonies involved cutting the skin so that protective medicines could be rubbed directly into the blood. Many warriors believed the spirits of their ancestors stood behind them during combat, and they fought with the conviction that dying in battle was an honor, not a tragedy. These traditions did not disappear. Sangomas still treat illness with a mixture of herbal medicine and spiritual diagnosis. Community ceremonies remain powerful, and loyalty to family and ancestors continues to anchor Zulu identity. The Hunza, the ageless people of the Himalayas. In the far northern mountains of Pakistan, between the Karakoram and the Himalayas, lies a valley known as Hunza. The people who live here seem untouched by time. They are strong, graceful, and full of life, even in old age. Visitors often describe them as ageless, and scientists have long been intrigued by their extraordinary health and longevity. The Hunza live simply. Their diet is based on fresh fruits, vegetables, grains, nuts, and pure glacier water. They eat very little meat and often practice periods of fasting. Their bodies stay lean and their hearts strong. Medical studies have shown that they have exceptionally low cholesterol levels and a near absence of diseases such as cancer and diabetes. Their secret goes beyond diet. The Hunza live close to nature and move constantly. They walk steep mountain paths, work the land, and breathe clean air. Their days follow the rhythm of the sun and the seasons. Stress, a common illness in modern life, is almost unknown among them. Disputes are rare and laughter is frequent. During the harsh winter months, when food becomes scarce, they endure what they call the hunger season. Rather than weaken them, this period cleanses their bodies and renews their health. Legends say that some Hunza live to 150 years. Verified records show lifespans well beyond 100.
The Hunza Valley is home for a remarkable community of people, known for their extraordinary longevity.
Whatever the exact number, their vitality speaks for itself. The Hunza way of life offers a lesson to the modern world. True longevity does not come from medicine or wealth. It comes from balance, simplicity, and peace within oneself. What do you think about these tribes? Comment down below.